If you're thinking about moving to Holland, think again, because I have 17 things that you need to know before you move out to Holland, and it's coming up right now. For things to do and sights to see, you are now watching Live Great TV, and I'm your official host to Living Great in Grand Rapids and the West Michigan area. My name's Vaughn Greathouse. Hey, if you want to know more about the Grand Rapids area and what it's like to live, work, and have fun in West Michigan, make sure you hit that subscribe button, slap that notification bell so you don't miss out on all the brand new videos that I'll be putting out each and every week, because honestly, I love making these videos. But even more than that, as a licensed real estate agent in the state of Michigan, I love helping you all make that move to the West Michigan area. So that name and that email coming across your screen right now is my direct contact info. And yes, I'm the one who answers those phone calls and those email messages. So feel free to get a hold of me anytime. And with that being said, let's get into the video. All right, before we go any place, I just want to make sure you know about the Holland area. Holland, Michigan, West Michigan. Was born and raised here, absolutely love Holland. And when you come out to Holland, I got a good feeling that you're gonna find some things that you love about it too. But before you move out here, I just wanna point out these 17 things so you don't miss out on what's happening in the area. There's a lot to know, there's a lot to really think about as you're making that move. So I wanna start, before I get into the 17 things, I wanna point out that in Holland, it's located West Michigan. We're right off of Lake Michigan, and it is literally not too big. The population in Holland is somewhere around 30 to 35,000 people, and there's not a lot of population growth. Over the last probably 10 years, there's only been about a 1% growth. So people are constantly coming and going, but the people who stay here don't like to leave. So that a lot of that just shows a lot. Since there's a 1% growth, there's a lot of people who just love to be here. And as Holland sits, you have the north side of Holland, you have the south side of Holland, and you have the lake shore. So you're in either one of those three places if you're in the Holland area. But let's get into number one, and that is going to be the friendly people that are in Holland. I want to point this out to you because I hear it all the time that people who come to the Holland area, they're like, man, these people are super nice. Some guy was waving at me in the parking lot when I was going to the store, and some people just aren't used to it. They aren't used to the friendly hospitality. It's almost like a southern hospitality, but it's in the north. And sometimes people aren't really used to that. They kind of get freaked out. But at the same time, it's good to know that you have friendly neighbors. You have people who are nice to you. You're able to make friends in the area. I'm not saying everybody's like that, because obviously not everyone is, but that's something that I have to point out to you as you're making your way through. Now, Holland was voted in 2010 by the Well-Being Index that it was the second happiest place in America, and that says a lot about the Holland area. There's some good people out here. There's some things to do in the Holland area, and I want to go over that. All right, let's get into number two, which is going to be that Holland is a very touristy type of town. This is a tourism spot. It's a highlight attraction for people who have Dutch heritage, people who want to know more about where they're from as far as when the Dutch settled here in the early 1800s. Knowing more about that Dutch culture is very, very important. Now, one of the great things about Holland and the tourism is going to be tulip time. It happens in May just about every year. Come hell or high water, we never miss our tulip time. I think the only time, in 40 something years was during 2020 where they had to shut everything down. But other than that, we always have tulip time. We always have those elephant ears, those fat balls, the Dutch dancing, the tulips. So many good things about it. The fireworks. Tulip time is a very big attraction during the summertime. People just love to be here seeing tulips. They're literally everywhere. We even have one of the oldest working windmills in the world that is over 250 years old. So that's a huge attraction when people are coming out to the Holland area to find out more about it. What's the history? What's the heritage? It's a really great thing. All right, number 3 is going to be that Holland is a retirement oasis. Now, people come from all over Michigan to retire in Holland. There's an amazing retirement community here. There's always things for the senior citizens to actually do out here, different tourism, bird watching, nature, all sorts of things. And even in 2006, they were voted one of the top 5 places in America to retire. So knowing that, having people who are thinking about settling down as they're becoming seniors, having lots to do in the area, that is a really big highlight to know that there's a big senior community out here in the Holland area. You can make friends, you can go out and laugh, you can do all these things knowing that as you retire, you're in the right place. Number 4 is going to be that there are literally tulips everywhere. During the summertime, from May all the way until September, October time, there's always some tulips literally everywhere. And you get a hefty fine if you mess with them. So I want you to know that as you're coming out, they spring up over 250,000 tulips during the summertime. They plant them usually early spring. By the time May or June comes, those things are budding and popping up everywhere. It's a great attraction. It makes the town look beautiful as you're going out to sit out, maybe on some restaurant deck and just enjoy A Street while you're sitting there just having lunch or having dinner. It's a great attraction knowing that in the Holland area, you see the beauty, you see the tulips, the nature. There's nothing like those summers in Holland, Michigan. All right, number 5 is going to be that this is home to Freedom Village, which is one of the best retirement communities ever. A long time ago, right out of high school, I used to work at one of the retirement homes at Freedom Village, and it was a great experience. I got to meet a lot of great people from the Holland area, people who are movers and shakers in the city as they're elderly and senior citizens. So if you're thinking about retiring, either it's assisted living or you just want to enjoy. A lot of people who are in the older age bracket tend to not really think about that, but it's a great place to know that as you have grandma and grandpa in the area, they have a great place to live, great food, great dining, lots of fun and activities for those people. But I just wanted to point that out. Enough with the senior citizen stuff. Let's get into number 6, which is going to be sidewalks are heated downtown. Now, this is an awesome thing about Holland is that it is the largest municipality in the United States that has over 120 miles of heated sidewalks and roads. There's literally no other place that has that much in the United States. So it's unique to us knowing that in the wintertime when it's snowing out like this, you can actually have paved, clean sidewalks. They don't have to shovel out there. You can walk downtown and get a coffee, or you can go to a restaurant or meet someone out there and enjoy your time knowing that there's no slush or snow around. And it is really unique to Holland, Michigan. So you have to look out for those heated sidewalks. It's definitely a highlight that everyone's really happy about. And along with those heated sidewalks, they made them all the way back in 1988. And the way that they stay warm is they actually use the city waste to keep them warm. And it keeps the streets warm down all the way to 15 degrees. So that's awesome. It's kind of funny, but it's kind of awesome to know that the boo-boo and the poop or whatever, whatnot is actually keeping the streets heated, just so you know where that heat sources come from. It's a unique feature to the town, but hey, now you know something cool about Holland. All right, now we're getting into number 7, which is Holland, Michigan has some amazing beaches. There are some great places that I always used to go to growing up. Places such as Tunnel Park, the State Park, Lake Town Beach, Oval Beach, which is near Saugatuck, and there's a lot of hidden public beaches along the lakeshore in Holland. Now, growing up, being at Tunnel Park, we used to run down that big old hill and enjoy a lot of the picnics and things like that. There's always work festivals and things to do out there during the summertime that people really enjoy, and the beaches are just absolutely beautiful. Nothing like that white sand in the summertime, knowing that it's a huge attraction for people who are local. So there's all kinds of beaches all the way through the Holland area. A huge highlight to people who are coming out here to enjoy the summertime in Holland, Michigan. All right, number 8 is going to be there's a lot of great job opportunities in the Holland area. There's a lot of big organizations that are here that are constantly doing hiring, giving some of those good careers. I even have some friends and family members who work for some of the bigger companies. And just to name a few of them, we have Herman Miller, Hayworth, LG Chem, which is like a battery energy company, Kraft Foods, Tierra Yachts, where they make the boats, Gentex, and then Magna, which is another company which is in the automotive. Now, these companies that are out there are just very well-known companies in their industry, great job opportunities, great pay, great benefits, and people really look forward to these jobs whenever they're making their way out to the Holland area. Whether they work in Grand Rapids, they work in Rockford, they work in South Haven, they come from all over to get these jobs because they're some of the best jobs in the area. And not to forget to mention that Gentex Automotive is the second largest employer in the West Michigan area, next to Spectrum Medical. All right, number 9 is going to be that the highways and byways, there are some main places that you'll need to know before you come out to the Holland area. And the main roads that we use a lot of times, I want to say it is US 31. It goes all the way straight through Holland, all the way up through the lakeshore, all the way down. It'll take you right into Chicago. That's usually the main highway that we all use in West Michigan to get to Chicago, wherever we're going. And it's an awesome highway. It's very, it's actually kind of scenic, as flat and boring as Holland is. It's a little bit more scenic than some of the other highways out here. Another roadway that you want to look out for in Holland is I-196. That actually runs east to west, and from Holland to get to Grand Rapids, that's what you would take in order to get there. The next one is going to be M40, which actually runs north and south. County Road A2, which is Blue Star Highway, which runs on the back roads, which is right near the lakeshore. Not to forget to mention, now that since we're on the topic of transportation, we have the Max Bus, which is our public transportation, which usually is $30 to $35 somewhere there a month to actually ride. Holland actually has a couple airports. They have the Park Township Airport, and then they have the Holland Airport, which is a smaller private airport that a lot of just private jets and things like that. There's not a lot of commercial flights that go through there, but we do have our own airport, just to point that out. All right, number 10 is going to be that Holland has a huge boating scene. And this is something that you need to know before coming out here, because if you're not used to boating life, you're not used to seeing big trucks with boats behind them and people riding on jet skis and things like that to do. We have Anchorage Marina, which is another really big marina that is out here. A lot of the people use Anchorage Marina because they get rates, along with Yacht Basin. That's another marina that a lot of people use in the area where they dock their boats. Now there's other smaller companies where you're able to rent boats, pontoon boats. You're able to get on the water, enjoy the water. There's a lot of people who have boat slips, and they actually are able to, use their sailboats and go out and enjoy the weather. People who have boats at their house. So the lake life and that boat life is a real thing in Holland. So as you're coming out, just giving you a heads up. All right, another thing about the boating is there are river cruises and boat cruises. This is a highlight for a lot of people who want to have a romantic night and watch the sunset, because the sun sets over West Michigan. And knowing that they have day cruises where people can have private events or corporate parties or birthdays or whatever, anniversaries and things like that, you can go ahead and get on the cruise boats. There's a lot of that going on during the summertime. So just to give you a heads up for the scene, the boat scene in Holland is no joke. Number 11 is going to be that there are plenty of breweries in Holland, Michigan. You don't want to miss out. So if you like sipping on that craft beer, you like sipping on a cold one, you know that there's a lot of great places in Holland. You don't have to go to Grand Rapids to get some good brew. There's places such as Our Brewery, just to name a few. There's New Holland Brewing Company, which is a very large company, Big Lake Brewing Company, Tulip City Brew Stillery, and the Saugatuck Brewing Company and Brew 424. There's a lot of great beers in the area, and as you come out to the Holland area, you'll get to know some of these names as you're trying different beers out. You'll get to know that a lot of people kind of are particular. We got some beer snobs out here, but hey, we can do it. There's beer for days. So just wanted to point out that that is a huge highlight when you're coming to Holland. All right, number 12 is going to be that the people in Holland love the fall season. Now, fall is a beautiful time of year for Hollanders. I'm gonna call them Hollanders. People in Holland who really enjoy the fall leaves, going out to the apple orchard. There's a huge apple orchard out here called Crane's Apple Orchard, it's part of Holland. It's in Finville, which is only about 15 minutes south of Holland. And it's a great place where people go out and they do a corn maze. They are apple pie, they have apple fritter, they have some of the best apple cider donuts you've ever had. And we get to enjoy a lot of the games that come along with it during the fall season. Having some good old apple pie. It is an amazing time during the fall season, knowing that you can come out here, have a good time in the fall, and just have those events that happen during the fall. Another great thing that you can do in the fall is you can go pick some blueberries. That is a huge deal out here. People go pick blueberries. You get a big old barrel and pick them things and eat them all day. It's a great time out here, as well as the pumpkin patches, different pumpkin patches. Sometimes you get a pumpkin that's bigger than your head, some of them taller than you can stand, or you can get the little cute ones if you want. But during the fall season, there's so much to do. There's so many highlights to being in Holland. That is something I definitely can't forget to point out. Number 13 is going to be that in Holland, there is a lot of churches. There is a ton of churches. Now, Holland is only about 8 square miles, and there are over 170 churches. So depending on whatever your flavor is, if you're Christian Reformed, whatever your religion is, there's 170, take your pick. They call Holland the city of churches, and you can clearly see why. I wouldn't say it was a religious town, but people have their beliefs. It's a traditional type of town. And not to forget to mention that Holland was one of the originating places that started the WWJD movement. I don't know if you ever had one of those bracelets, but the WWJD movement started pretty much right here. It's an old saying, but it was made popular right here in Holland. Number 14 is going to be that Holland has an amazing luxury real estate market. So if you're looking for a bigger home, you're looking for a nicer upscale home, something that's very comfortable for you, you can easily find that along the lakeshore. Now, the more expensive houses, if that's your taste, is going to be more on the lakeshore. I'm talking about near Lake Makatawa, I'm talking about South Shore Drive, I'm talking about Lakeshore Drive. Those are going to be some of the prominent areas where people who are in the higher end homes that are spending their time. They want to be near that boat life. They want to be near a lot of where they have their own space, as well as in the West Olive area, sort of in that mid-range area. There's a lot more wooded, so people have that privacy. Going out to see some of these luxury buildings is absolutely gorgeous. So I wanted to make sure that I point those out as you're making your way out here. Beautiful homes, beautiful architecture. There's a lot of great custom builders. I know Mike Scott is a really big one that's out here, just to shout him out. But at the same time, there's some great builders I can connect you with if you have any interest in those, just to give those as a highlight for the Holland area. Number 15 is going to be that there are plenty of schooling options for the kiddos. There are 6 main school districts, or 6 main schools that a lot of people go to, that the smaller elementaries all lead up to, and they are Holland Public, Holland Christian, Zeeland East and Zeeland West, West Ottawa, and Black River. Those are going to be the prominent schools that each and every one of the smaller schools for the kiddos end up going to as the prominent high schools that are in the area. There's a lot of Dutch pride. Hope College is out here as one of the schools. Grand Valley has some campuses. Davenport, GRCC even has some. Grand Rapids Community College has some places out here. But I just wanted to point those out as some of the highlights for the Holland area as you're thinking about the schools. If you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out. Number 16 is going to be, there's a lot of parks, there's a lot of nature, there's a lot of trails, there's things to do out here during the summertime, even in the wintertime. We have places like the Graff Nature Center where you can learn more about the history of Holland and see some of the trails, some of the birds and popular animals that are out here that you'll see on a regular basis, just to get away, enjoy God's green earth, enjoy nature and things like that. And Quincy Park is another park which is way out on the north side that a lot of people play baseball. They go to, have summer events. I used to take my daughter to go watch her softball games out there. Fantastic area, beautiful scenery. There's nothing like it. The lots in Holland are very large, so people who are living and building on those lots, there's a lot of new construction, and they still have that wooded scene, so you get the beautiful views as you're moving out to Holland. All right, this is it. Number 17, this is the last and final one, and I want to tell you that it is close to Zeeland, Michigan. That's exactly where I am right now. Zeeland is actually a very nice town as well. It very much so emulates Holland. So I always call Zeeland like a mini Holland, just because there's a lot of the same type of culture there. A lot of people who have Holland family, they have Zeeland family, so they integrate quite a bit. They just have different districts and different zip codes. Now the thing about Zeeland is there's a lot of great schools, and there is a Zeeland in East and a Zeeland West school district that they have 2 football teams that rival, so it's an awesome time to go out to those football games and enjoy that. Now Zeeland, when you're coming out here, they have their own type of flavor. It's a lot more quiet. There are a lot more, I mean, when you're in Zeeland, a lot of times people don't even mow their lawn on a Sunday. That's the type of traditional type of town that it is. So knowing that Zeeland has that traditional values, if this is something that's important to you, that is definitely going to be a highlight that you must check out. There are some other places in Zeeland that actually have a lot more land. There are other cul-de-sacs that are going up. So there's a lot of actually going on in the Zeeland area that I wanted to point out to you. So, all right, you guys, that is it. Those are the 17 things that you must know before you come out to Holland, Michigan, before you move out here. I just wanted to highlight those things for you, so you have a heads up from somebody who's born and raised here, lives here, knows all about it. I can answer any question that you have. Maybe not all of them, but I can find out. So, with that being said, for things to do and sights to see, you're watching Live Great TV, and I'm your official host to Living Great in Grand Rapids and the West Michigan area. My name is Vaughn Grayhouse. Hey, if you want to know more about the Grand Rapids area and what it's like to live, work, and have fun in West Michigan, make sure you hit that subscribe button, snap that notification bell so you don't miss out on all the brand new videos that I'll be putting out each and every week, because I really enjoy making these videos. But even more than that, as a licensed real estate agent in the state of Michigan, I love helping you make that transition over to the West Michigan area. So that name and that email coming across your screen right now is my direct contact info. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. And with that being said, we'll see you on the next one.